Hi, my name is Alan Threadgold. I'm a group leader within the Vertus Group. Yeah, so my background is quite varied. I started off in the insurance industry and spent 19 years there working for two different companies in a variety of roles. Moved into leadership roles in those back a long time ago in 1997, so coming into my 27th year in leadership roles. I left the insurance industry in 2005, became a club manager at a lovely club in Ireland called Bray Golf Club. Spent 10 great years there before I got the opportunity to join Jonas in 2015 as part of the Vertus Group. So I was initially based in London as general manager for Jonas Club International. I moved to Toronto for a year as VP of Operations prior to the acquisition of Book Assist. When that happened, I moved back to Dublin, back to my hometown, and I've been based back in Dublin since then. It's interesting, people often ask me about the various sectors I've worked in. How do you move from insurance to golf to software? And for me, like, leadership is the same across all industries. Really, it's about the people, it's about the customers, it's about the financials, and it's really about strategy and vision for the business. You don't have to be the expert; you just have to create the fundamentals and the foundations for the experts to do their business. So, I'm really there to make them successful. I suppose when I joined in 2015, I really didn't see that as the journey and the path for me. But I've been very fortunate with the opportunities that I've received. And as you immerse yourself in the Vertus Group and in what we do across all of our CSI companies, you're learning every day, you're developing, and you see opportunities. And if you're ambitious as I am, you want to take those opportunities. And one of those opportunities is to become a leader of multiple companies, so the group leader role. I've been very fortunate to have that opportunity to work with a great group of people, and I look forward to growing that and expanding the number of companies that work under me. So as I say, it certainly wasn't something, if you asked me in 2015, is it something I would do? I wouldn't have got that part right, but it's been a great journey so far, and it's one of the brilliant opportunities we have as part of this group. When you're looking after multiple companies, you need to understand the strategy. It can be different strategies for both businesses or for multiple businesses. The key job for us within a group, whether you're running one company or two companies, is to run great companies. We are an acquirer, but our first role is to make sure the businesses we run are successful. So for me, it's about looking at the focus I have on the two businesses. With Book Assist, my role is more of a day-to-day role because I'm CEO there as well as being a group leader. With the Visogy business, I have a great leadership team that I'm involved day to day, so I'm a little bit more distant from that. I'm there as a support mechanism to the leaders in both businesses. I trust the leadership teams in both businesses, so it allows me to step away, allow them to take responsibility for what they are there to do and also to be accountable for what they do. So for me, it's about oversight, it's about being a coach, being a mentor. It's about ensuring the strategies that we set as a group are implemented, and that we do everything to make those businesses as successful as possible. And if we do that, it creates a lot of opportunity for the people in those businesses. Part of the time is metrics, part of it's the financial performance, part of it is strategy. So it's very much about identifying opportunities in the businesses, looking at people who are coming through. Part of what we do is to acquire businesses, so we require a lot of future leaders. One of my key roles is looking at who's coming through in those businesses, where we may have opportunity to bring people through to be future leaders of our business. For me, part of my day, every day, is learning as well, and understanding what's involved in those businesses. But there's no strict calendar or schedule that you run to every day. It's every day is different. We acquire a business. I, as the group leader, am entrusted with the responsibility for those business, and those businesses bring legacy with them. So we've got owners who entrust us with the future of their business. They've put their blood, sweat, and tears into growing those businesses, getting to a place where they're successful, and then agreeing that they will sell that business to the Vertus Group. I then am responsible for making sure that that business has a future, that I continue the legacy of the founders. If they remain with the business, we can work with them to ensure that. If they don't, well, we've got to take that responsibility and ensure the legacy's there. Another part of it is ensuring that there's a future for the people that work in those businesses. So I'm very fortunate. I have 160 people working for me in the two businesses I have responsibility for. Many of those people are ambitious. They want opportunity. We're there to run great companies, and each year as the business is successful, it gives you pride in what's going on. When the business is successful, that means the people are successful. That means we've opportunities for them coming through. I've got to meet great people. both in the businesses that I run, within our own Vertus Group, within the Jonas operating group that we're part of, and across the wider CSI organization. We've got fabulously talented people, and that's being used, in terms of my own personal development. That's massive. The people you get to meet, the people you spend time with, what they've done in their businesses, learning from them. And it's one of the great things within our own organization that there is so much sharing of knowledge, best practice. Yeah, it's been very rewarding and great opportunity. Yeah, so there's always challenges. When we're looking at acquiring businesses, we spend a lot of time doing diligence, trying to understand the businesses. But as much as we spend that time, there are always things that we don't come across until we actually own the business and we get involved. So it's being flexible, being ready to roll with the punches when things come along that you're not quite expecting. We're in technology, so there are always challenges in terms of, roadmaps, where we're developing to, what's our strategy for the business. But I think it's about being open. As challenges come along, you sit down with your team, you're open with them, you're transparent with them. But also, we've a wealth of experience and knowledge. We've a lot of people that we can reach out to, discuss the challenges that are there. But also, it's great to bring your teams together and actually face those challenges. And how do we come up with our own solutions? If it was all good stuff, anybody could do it. In terms of what may change, one of the central things that we look to do is to centralize the finance and HR functions. So that's something that generally changes for those businesses, in that we take on those functions ourselves. Outside of that, a lot doesn't really change, in that for most of the businesses we acquire, the founders do tend to stay, whether for a short time or for a longer term. We don't go in to drastically change what's made the business successful. What we look to do is to bring our best practices to make them even more successful. So we don't want to go in and change the culture. We don't want to rip out the heart of the business. We're not there for short-term change and short-term gain. We're there for the long haul. So for a lot of the people working in the businesses, they don't see drastic change. There's always a fear factor when businesses are acquired, what is going to happen. But certainly for us, we are not in there to make significant change. We're there to bring best practices and assistance to the business, give them the benefit of our knowledge and experience. The businesses are successful in their own right. They've got to a point where we wanted to acquire them, and thankfully the founders wanted to sell the business to us. So it's not right for us to go in and make significant change. But for us, again, one of the key things that makes those businesses successful is the culture of those businesses. And we've no right to go in and rip apart that culture. We need to work with the people. We need to support the culture and support the people that have made the business successful. From business to business, it differs as to how much change will take place. But a lot of it is about building on the success of the business and not changing it. I'm mainly focused on hospitality, hotels, restaurants at the moment. They're obviously very significant sectors in the business world. There's a huge expanse in terms of technology across those industries. There's lots of new, young players coming into the market with very innovative products. And one of the challenges is how do all the products come together to assist the hotels who are very focused on their customer journey. So that is a challenge in itself, but it's certainly a sector which has bounced back following COVID. There's a lot of opportunity. There's been significant growth in it in the last couple of years, and certainly all the signs are very strong that hospitality will continue to grow over the next year or two. So it's an exciting industry to be involved in. From the position of an acquirer, it's a great opportunity because there's many companies coming into the business at startup stage and starting to develop. So over time, it's wonderful for us to see how those businesses move along. It certainly keeps the current incumbents on their toes as new providers come into the market. Vertus Group being part of Constellation Software, the key for us is we buy and hold forever. We're about today, we're about tomorrow, and we're about the future. We're not here about short-term change and short-term gain. From the position of a vendor or somebody who's put their blood, sweat and tears into the business, we're a safe home for that business because we're going to hold it forever. We're very much about protecting the legacy of the business that people have spent many years building up. We're about the future of the employees in that business. Those employees have supported the owners in making the business successful, so we're a really good home from that point of view. But we also create a lot of opportunity. So if you're a vendor selling to us or looking to sell to us, for the people who are important to you in your business, they have opportunity. We continually acquire businesses. We look for leaders. We look to provide sound futures for our people. For me, the key is that we are a buy and hold forever, and we provide that security to the vendor and to their team. I think that the first thing is it's very important for the vendor to know what they want and what their expectation is. What's the key elements for them? Is it about price? Is it about future? Is it about protecting the legacy of their business? And they need to be very clear on that. I think it's important for them to take a step back and look at what their expectation is as part of a sale process as they move forward. Is the vendor going to stay on in the business? And again, another factor, do they want to be part of the continued success of that? Are they going to work with us to make the business even more successful than it is? But also it's a two-way process. Often when we get into these acquisition processes, there's a feeling that it's very much about us learning about the businesses, but it's also important for the vendor to learn about us, but also to learn from us. So in many of the conversations we're involved in, it can become an education and a learning process where we share experiences. Don't be afraid to ask questions and learn from the process. Oh, I think there's just endless opportunity. Like we're in a wonderful time from a technology perspective. There are many companies out there that potentially can be acquired. We've got great leadership in our business. We've got fantastic talent coming through. We've got some amazing young leaders who are going to be future business leaders, future group leaders. We've lots of great businesses that we're talking to, and it's just an exciting time to be part of an organization that's constantly growing. Every day we hear of new businesses coming in. For me, my career has evolved over time, but for some of those young leaders coming through now to see the excitement, the opportunity that's ahead, it's just fantastic. So for us, Vertus Group has a very strong future ahead. It's going to be good times, and for a lot of people it's going to be a great place to be part of that journey.